We are not doctors. Nothing in this podcast should be taken as medical advice. Consult your physician before starting any workout routine. This is the Martial Heart Podcast.
Hey, how are you? Welcome back. You don't know it, but this is your third time experiencing this podcast today. The other two are just no longer in existence. They blinked out of existence. Such is life. That's the way the universe works. Things happen and then poof, they're gone. No one remembers them. No one remembers them because it never got posted. Because in the middle of recording it, my brain stopped functioning. And I stopped speaking. I have no idea what just happened to me, but I have a lot on my mind, peoples. So, give me a break. But I don't even remember what I was saying when I just blanked out and was staring off into nowhere. And I don't know. I have no idea what that was. Could have been another PTSD moment or some stupid shit like that. I don't know if you know anybody who's got PTSD, but sometimes weird shit happens to you where like you're somewhere else for a brief moment. And then anyway, so I was saying, welcome. This is going to be episode 43. And this is the follow-up episode I promised after seeing my family physician this morning for his follow-up. And I have, news. And it's not, I guess there's good news. First of all, the good news is, according to my doctor, the good news is I'm sitting here and I'm able to talk to you about it. So that's the big thing. And he kept emphasizing that's the important thing, is that you're here and you're able to talk to me about it and we can have this discussion. So it was like, that's going great. You should be happy to be here. And I am. But I had a lot of questions about, the various aspects of what's happening and how I'm doing, what's the recovery looking like, am I on track, and all these other things. So we talked about a lot of it. And first of all, I want to address the thing that I've been complaining about the most, which is the chest pressure. He does not believe that has anything to do with my heart. So we are back to assuming that it's some sort of an anxiety response, a stress response. And we're going to try to address that in whatever way we can do it. If we have to address it with medication, then that's what we're going to do. So he is making some other changes to my medication because the blood pressure medication they put me on is still not working well enough. So he is upping the dose. So he's sort of going against what the cardiologist prescribed. Not that I'm sure they won't agree, but my blood pressure is still not controlled enough. So he's going to change up my dosage. So currently I'm taking like 12.5 milligrams in the morning. Now he wants me to take 12.5 in the morning, 12.5 at night, so that I have a constant, amount, a more even amount of the medication in my system to see if it levels off my blood pressure, because it's still not level. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, and it's probably has something to do with when I'm taking the medicines and how much of it is in my bloodstream. I don't know. So we're making changes with regard to that. We're making changes with regard to the Wellbutrin, the generic bupropion or whatever it is that I was taking for smoking cessation because, hey, I quit smoking 2 months ago suddenly, and I really don't need to be taking that anymore. There are some benefits. He said there are some benefits to taking it, especially since I'm having like anxiety and potential depression issues following what's been going on. So, but the other things, not really a benefit for me to stay on it. So he's going to slowly switch that medication out for something else. And we'll see how that goes. And hopefully, I guess it doesn't matter how much I'm going to crave having a cigarette or not, because that's every day. I have it every day. Some days I'm reaching for my cigarettes and going, wow, I forgot that I don't smoke anymore. Or I'm doing something and I still think, wow, I'd really like to have a cigarette right now. Especially when I'm stressed out. And because that was a stress response it is for smokers. I think for all smokers, it's like, oh man, what a shitty day I had. I'm gonna sit down and have a beer and a cigarette or whatever. And so I still have that where I'm like, man, I'm stressed out. I need to have a smoke. I need to take a break, go have a smoke. But I don't smoke. And so while I'm at work, I look at my coworker and I say, all right, it's time for us to take a break. We got to go take a break. I need to go outside. And in the past, that would have been, I need to go outside and have a smoke. But since I don't smoke anymore, now it's just, I'm going to go outside. And I'm going to go outside and sit in my truck and, I don't know, brood or something. Maybe do a stupid political video in my truck where I'm ranting about something. That stupid thing that people do that I have done a couple times. So it's different now, but I guess long term, I don't need to be on the Wellbutrin thing. So we're going to change that up and see how that goes. But I really don't think if that's gone, is my craving for a cigarette going to come back? And it never really took that away, I don't think, completely. You know, it helps. It does. I'm sure it helps, but it doesn't take it away completely. So I'm still dealing with the whole, I'd really love to have a cigarette right now or something. I still have that. I'm just choosing not to do it. And I'm hoping that eventually that goes away as well, where I'll just stop thinking that way because I don't smoke anymore. And when the doctor asked me today, because this is the first time I've seen him since the heart attack, because the other follow-up appointment I had was with his nurse practitioner. It wasn't with him. So today was like the first time that I've seen him since the heart attack in person. And he mentioned it. He was like, hey, so you quit smoking? And I'm like, yeah, I did. He was like, awesome. That's great. Because he's been, up my ass about that for, I don't know, 20 years. I haven't had him for 20 years, maybe 12, 14 years, maybe. So anyhow, overall, it's okay. He wants me to follow the instructions of the cardiologist, except that he's changing some of my medications, specifically the blood pressure one. He's going to make some changes to that so that I have a more continuous flow. So there's going to be some in the morning, some in the evening, so it hopefully better regulates my blood pressure because it's still kind of chaotic. But as far as personal exercise regimens and jiu-jitsu and karate classes and going to fight people, stuff like that, not yet. And he was honest with me, and we don't know, was his answer. We don't know right now. So get through the cardiac rehab, and we'll see where you are then. We'll see how things are going then. And then we can, start adding things to your agenda, your regimen, or whatever this crazy thing is that you want to do with your life, you stupid old man. But stick to the plan, get through cardiac rehab so we can assess how you're doing now at that time. And then, what's it been? I don't even know. I'll have to look at the calendar. I don't know what week I'm in on cardiac rehab, but I have several weeks left. I don't even think I'm halfway yet. This might be the halfway or just before the halfway. I'm not sure. So, because I can't think straight. I don't remember things as it is. That's not a side effect of having a heart attack. I just can't remember shit anymore. And I haven't been able to do that for a number of years. Ask me something obscure, something completely ignorant, stupid, and out of the blue, and I will be able to answer it for you. But if you ask me where I was yesterday, it's likely that I'm not going to know. I won't remember. I will later. Funny story. There's been a person in our life, a relationship of one of our children, and this person has been around for a few years now, It took me more than a day to remember his name. I sat around going, what the hell is this kid's name? I could not remember his name. And it didn't help that in my phone, my contacts in my phone, I wasn't sure he was sticking around, and I wasn't even sure that, I needed his phone number in my thing. So I just put him in as H whatever in my phone. And so, it wasn't helpful. God, I really probably shouldn't be talking about this because they're probably going to listen to this. So anyway, Hunter, I'm sorry. I forgot your name and I could not remember your name. It took me about a day. And then, all of a sudden I was driving down the road when I'm at work and I'm like, oh, Hunter, that's who it is. The joys of getting old. I have a lot on my mind, people. There's a lot going on up here other than, remembering people's names and stuff and remembering what year it is and dates and things. I don't have time for that shit. But he was asking me how I feel, and at the time, I feel pretty good right now. Yesterday, most of the day yesterday, I didn't have the chest pressure at all, and I always hesitate to think about it because it seems like if you're going to think about something, then it, all of a sudden now you're noticing it. But I didn't have that yesterday, and I noticed that I didn't have that sometime in the afternoon where I was just like, oh, wow. And I'm not having chest pressure right now, but I also realized that I'm not having stress, at least not as the kind of stress that causes me to have chest pressure, I guess. So that was kind of a positive. And today it's kind of the same thing. There's a little bit more chest pressure today, probably as a result of going to this doctor's appointment. But, you want to hear everything's fine, you're doing great. And, you're going to live a long and happy life. And boy, nothing can stop you now. And they're not saying that. They're telling me that I should be happy that I'm still here, which you can take that two ways. Like you can take that as, yay, I survived it for you. Yeah, you're lucky you survived what's wrong with you right now because your shit was fucked up. But, so sometimes you don't know how to take these things. And not all doctors have a good bedside manner. At least that's what they used to call it, a bedside manner. So, how they mean it, I don't know, but I get that. Hey, you survived it. You're lucky. Be happy that you're here. Let's worry about all the other stuff later. Right now, let's just make sure you stay here for now and stay on track with the, changing your diet, quitting the smoking, getting plenty of exercise, getting your cholesterol in control, which it is. All my blood numbers, he looked at my blood and my results from the other day when I gave blood, and he said everything looks okay. There's a couple of, that need to be adjusted. Probably, one of them was part of my cholesterol. So things that, can be adjusted with different methods. So that was fine. My blood work was okay. And that's where we are. I mean, we're kind of just at the keep going, keep doing it, keep improving. And I got the, stay positive thing again. The same thing I was told in the hospital after they couldn't do open heart surgery on me because I wasn't a good candidate. That's when I got the stay positive comments. And I got those today in the doctor's office too. Stay positive. Because what goes on up here affects what's going on down here, according to my doctor, who's a nice guy. I think I'm going to do more talking because talking seems to help. So this is episode 43. Episode 44 coming soon. Ciao.